Hello everyone, Switch Down here. This fair video is going to be more about Grogar. Ever since he was introduced in season 9, he had some sort of plan for that. Since he had magic enough to summon Tyrek, Chrysalis, Sombra, and even Kosogo, and even some magic to give to Sombra, Tyrek, so that he can regain some power. But here is the more question. Why would he hire, or not hire, but trust, perhaps not trust, but why would he summon some of the biggest villains in an Equestria to his lair? I mean, if he is so powerful, why would he need psychics or minions? I believe that he doesn't have his full power yet. As we heard that some of the character, I think was a Chrysalis Sora, saying that Gusty the Great, the unicorn, stole Grogars' bell, which gave him the power. So here's the question: what has he been doing all this time for the past millennia or more? Well, it is possible that he has been waiting, gaining more power over time. Perhaps he has been studying this pony society over a distance, over some sort of, to observing them, to wait for a great moment to strike against the ponies. But he realized, without his strength power, he would not have a choice or even a chance to even fight against the ponies. If he tried, he would immediately be defeated by, well, any of those, like Sisters of the Celestial Luna, Twilight and friends. But what is his plan? It seems that he has a big plan. But what is the plan that he has been planning for the past millennia? One of the things that he can have been observing the ponies, at the same time waiting to gain much more power, and even having to have the minions, Tyrek, Kosogo, Chrysalis, as at his side as minions. But there is also the question: why now? And what is his big plan? No one of us can tell for sure yet, since the season 9 had just started, and Grogar hasn't been seen in the series since the 2 episodes at first. Only that I could suggest that his big plan is to recover the bell that Gusty stole from him. So then here's the question: where is the bell? It is possible that Gusty know if Grogar were able to find his bell, he will regain all his power once again, and he will still make a threat to the Equestria. So I believe it is possible that Gusty managed to overhanded the bell to the Royal Sisters for safekeeping. And I also believe that they could have sent that bell hidden somewhere else. Only they know for sure what it is. Because even if that bell was so powerful, why would they not perhaps destroyed it? Perhaps they had destroyed it, or just had hidden somewhere, had took it someplace in Equestria where they can believe it was safe and not reveal this location to anyone. But what is his true goal in this? And Here's also part of the theory. Does he even trust his minions? From my understanding, perhaps it is not. He doesn't even trust them as he needs to. It is possible. There's a possibility that he only using them for his own personal gain, and after he found what he's looking for, perhaps it is a spell, then he has his full power again, and he can easily remove the power that he given to Tirek and send them back to their prisons and just no longer need them. Like, what if he's using them for, first of all, to find what he's looking for, perhaps his spell, and second of all, it is possible that he's using them as scouts to learn more about Twilight and their friends, and even to see if he can still trust them, sending them out on missions together so they can see how they work together, if they can even work together at all. I mean, there's so much of this big plan that Grogar has, but he hasn't even revealed yet. What if that's he using his minions to find the bell that Gusty stole from him and stripped away his powers, and that he's only has a limit of his powers and has before? So the question is, will they find the bell? Perhaps they will find the bell some part, perhaps in the middle or near the end of the season 9, and perhaps be able to capture Grogar once again and put him away somewhere. But what is his absolute big plan? Could it be that he has been looking for the bell all along, but even had his nose, he can't just go out there in Equestria to just search for it, because since Equestria is a big place, and it could take centuries or perhaps millennia to find the bell. Even if he doesn't have that long, even if he hasn't that time to find it. And he knows that Celestia and Luna could be the only ponies to know where the bell are. So, like, it's not like he's walking up to the council and demanding them, telling them to tell where the bell is after they wouldn't telling him. No, they would easily capture him. So I believe that he's using Tirek, Chrysalis, and Kozaglow for searching out information where this bell can be, so they can find it to him, give it to him, and then he can send it back to their prisons or something, and he can use the power of the bell to once again to make havoc. Here's what I believe what his big plan is. Conquer. I believe he won't use his spell to conquer Equestria that he once did before. I mean, who wouldn't do that? Much of in the ancient history we saw in the first episode that he claimed to be the emperor of the ancient Equestria, the father of monsters. So, since we know that now that the bell completes his powers, so it's like he's only half of his powers, or maybe less than the half, or perhaps just only, if we say in percent, like 100% when he had the bell, and he's now perhaps maybe just, let's say maybe 5 to 10% of his power. Not strong enough to even fight against Luna or Celestia by himself. So it is possible that he can only give limit of powers to these minions, and even he doesn't even fully trust them. That he won't use them for his personal gain to find a bell and just throw them away like they are nothing, so that he can use the bell's full power to make more monsters and perhaps a monster army to try to conquer Equestria. What if he uses powers to make more monsters and so much more large army, sending out this army spread across Equestria to start havoc, so that even if they had the main six and Luna, Celestia, and Chrysalis, that we have Cadence, which is as an alicorn, powerful enough to be able to defeat any strong enemies. But this is also a question: would they be able to defend Equestria against a massive army if that is Grogars' attention? What if that his true attention is secret, that he is using his minions to find a bell and give it to him so he can get full power and use it against his minions, sending them back to the prison, and then starting to make more monsters, but this time a large army, a massive army, to be able to conquer Equestria. But he knows for one step for sure, not only sending all the massive army to one point. He wouldn't make that mistake, I know for sure of that. I think he would spread out his army in a massive force to conquer, to make sure his conquer is steady as possible. Perhaps he could use the minions, otherwise not. If he trusts his minion enough, perhaps he doesn't even throw away standing back to prison. He could use them again, that with the power of his spell and his full power, it is possible he could give a lot of power to Tirak and make him that massive he was as before. With that power, and even perhaps give Chrysalis a new changing army only loyal to her, and that they can try to take over Equestria, sending out to fight. But there's a question: why would it happen now? And will the main six and the princesses have power enough to defeat him? I know that much is a far stretch, is a theory, but hear me out. What if his true attention is to find the bell, to gain full power again, and form a massive monster army in order to take over Equestria? Because even if he has his spell and his full power, I'm not so sure if he will be able to defeat Luna, Celestia, Cadence, and Twilight and her friends at the same time. Because all their powers together, I don't think, even with his full power, I don't even think that Grogar would have any chance against all the heroes, including sisters and Cadence at the same time. I don't think he has the power to that. So it is possible that he has a secret agenda, a secret plan behind, without that his minion knows about. What if he has keeping that part of the plan for now, for himself, hoping, waiting that his minions can find the bell, and that he can use the power only not for himself, but also to try to take over Equestria. And perhaps when he sees that his minions can be trusted, it is possible that he could send them and make them generals in his army, and perhaps even grant them more power than they ever could dream of. I mean, making Tirak as big as he was before in the previous seasons, and even give Chrysalis her own army of changing monsters or something, and perhaps even give power to Kosuglo, and in transforming her to some sort of perhaps an alicorn power. Maybe could she transform her into an alicorn? Who knows? Because we don't even know what limits Grogars' full power has. So far, we only seen him give some power to Tirak to increase his size and his strength. And so, we don't even know for sure if Grogars' power at the moment has limits, or if he has to find his spell, we don't even know if that bell will grant him unlimited of power. So if he will be able to get unlimited power, Could he have been standing to defeat all the heroes and the royal sisters and Cadence by himself? It's possible that. But if his spell isn't has unlimited power, who knows? But I know that much is a bit strange theory, but you have to give it a thought about it. Since we have seen his power and he has he has been around ever since the ancient Equestria. So that is possible that he is much older than 1,000 years. He can be living in Equestria with his monsters before the ponies even got there. But we don't even know for sure about his true plans in this. He hasn't even mentioned any of it. But I think at least some hints has been given that he has a secret big plan for himself. And if I had to say though, it is a possibility that, and just consider the thought. The fact is, I believe that Grogar is using or perhaps having summoned Tirek, Kozuglo, Sombra, and Crystallis from the beginning to find the spell so he can be granted his full power again. But after Sombra didn't want to have any part of his plan, only thought of himself but then take over a question for himself. After he failed, I don't believe that Grogar would even summon him back again. After he defined his over. But will Sombra return? Who knows? Only time can tell. But I'm not sure in the fact of this that Grogar could have been summoning these minions so that they can have, first of all, to make them work together as a team, and also at the same time to find the bell, and that he can get full power, and then he can fulfill his dream, then his plan to be conquering Equestria. But I don't even know for sure about that yet. At least that was I believe about Grogar. But if anyone have your own opinion, your thoughts about this, let me know in the comment section below. And as always, this is Switch W, over and out.